You led off this show by saying that everybody is down in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, which means we're getting a lot of quotes coming out of Radio Row. And today it was all about Jay Glazer because he was talking about quarterbacks and where they could go, talking about Russell Wilson and saying he's definitely not reuniting with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas. And then he gave his opinion on if Russ could come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. When talking with NBC's Fantasy Football Happy Hour, Glazer said he doesn't know who's going to start for the Steelers in 2025, but he knows it's not going to be Russell Wilson. Quote, I don't think that's going to happen either, he said when talking about Wilson not returning to Pittsburgh or going to Las Vegas. I think you'll see a new start for Russell somewhere else. So Jay Glazer says no Russell Wilson back in the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think that one was a bit wild that he just came out and said Russ is done. It's not going to be Russ in Pittsburgh. And there's the thing, dude. When Dulac talks, you listen. When Jay Glazer talks, you pay attention to every single word because it means something. Glazer, it's no secret that him and Tomlin are tight. There is no secret whatsoever. When you, Tomlin, and oh man, forgive me for forgetting this name.
Was it Arthur Smith that was with them?
It was Arthur Smith, and then it was who's the Brett Michaels. Thank you very much. Are eating wings together in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. You got a tight connection. You guys are tight knit. You know your stuff, your friends, your buddies, your pals, and you're going to tell him the information that you're not going to tell anybody else. We already kind of knew it wasn't going to be Russ. He pretty much solidified that it's not going to be Russ. We could scratch that one off. I think the bigger thing here is, you know, not to, again, all respect to Adam Schefter. That guy is the GOAT. He's the legend. It is just, again, clear as day who you're getting your information from, because Schefter's getting it from Russ's side, where they're saying there's been expressions of interest here. The Steelers have definitely told us there's a possibility. And Jay Glazer from the Steelers side going, I don't think it's going to be Russ. I got a hard time believing it's going to be Russell Wilson in 2025. On the same note as that, though, if you go deeper into that quote, he does talk about Justin Fields, and he does not by no means say that Justin Fields is coming back to the Steelers in 2025. He leaves it pretty open that they have no idea who their quarterback is going to be this upcoming season. I took that a little bit as maybe Justin doesn't necessarily want to come back to Pittsburgh or isn't all in on coming back to Pittsburgh. He's taken this as somewhat of a business situation, as he should. I could be taking it wrong. I could be taking it in a way that says Justin is the one saying, just because of what I've been told, when really it could be the Steelers are saying, because they're not 100% in on Justin Fields. But I mean, that would cross what I, again, have heard from sources. Makes you think that they're not very close on that reasonable deal that the Steelers are looking for between the two. Did you take that differently? Then it's not as cut and dry of this is Justin and we're moving forward here for the Steelers.
You put in my mind in a pretzel a little bit with the cross-referencing of sources versus sources there. But no, whenever I saw him say that later part about Justin Fields, it just to me seemed like, all right, well, they don't have an agreement in place. And you've talked about it. I've talked about it. Anybody who follows Justin Fields is well aware that he is miles and miles and miles away from the city of Pittsburgh. Now, of course, he doesn't need to be in there for the negotiating. He's not going to be in there for a lot of the negotiating. It's his agent. But also in Glazer's report, he said he talked to Mike Tomlin yesterday. They're focused on last week, the Senior Bowl, this week, combine prep. They are compartmentalizing is the word that Jay Glazer used, which means to me, that just says, yeah, they haven't made that decision because they haven't had those discussions, at least severely. I'm sure they've talked about it. I'm sure Mike Tomlin has sat there at lunch and said, yeah, what do you think we should do? But from what that report indicated to me, it just told me that the Steelers haven't had any serious conversations about the direction that they want to go and making that statement of saying, hey, we're going to now pursue Justin Fields in 2025.
Super Bowl 59 is right around the corner, and it's the perfect time to get in on the action with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, they're giving all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. This is your shot to make every last play a moment to be remembered. Don't wait. Download the DraftKings app now and sign up using our code ALLSteelers. The crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. I do it all the time. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code ALLSteelers and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ALLSteelers only at DraftKings Sportsbook. I think it's wild that if that's the case, that they have not done that. That is like, how do you start your offseason in any other way?
I think,
go ahead.
I was going to say, I think part of it is they want to look at these draft quarterbacks. And I know me, you, and everybody on the outside knows that those draft quarterbacks, at least in week 1 of 2025, are not going to give you anything close to what Justin Fields is. But these guys like to have all of the information in the basket before they make a decision, especially an organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who belabors on every single minor detail before making a decision. I think that's a big part of it. Whenever he says, yeah, they're talking Senior Bowl, they're talking Combine, I think they want to have all the information about all of these upcoming quarterbacks in the NFL draft.
I agree. I agree that is probably where they're going here. I will say that they are putting themselves in a pickle if that's the case. They better wrap this thing up fast, because you let Justin Fields hit free agency, you're going to lose Justin Fields. That's just how it's going to go down. You let these guys go into free agency, you're looking at Jameis Winston, who we're going to talk about in a little while, being the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025. Not anybody that's going to get you to a Super Bowl or move you forward or put you in a position where maybe you grow into something more than you currently are. You are just going to sit there with the guy who is not a starting quarterback and is a starting quarterback for you in 2020. That's how you end up with Mason Rudolph back there as your starting quarterback this upcoming season. That's a bad place to be. I don't agree. Like, I understand the philosophy behind it if that's the Steelers' plan. I disagree with it wholeheartedly, because you have to get this done before free agency. You cannot let Justin Fields walk into free agency and test his market, because his market's going to be way more than what you're looking to spend on a quarterback. And next thing you know, you're drafting Jalen Milroe or Jackson Dart at 21, and everybody knows what's coming, and it's going to get bad real fast. That's how Skylar Thompson ends up in a game in 2025. I'm not talking as a starter. I mean, probably as a starter, but I'm not talking a week 1. I'm talking a week 16, because you're out of options. You know, you're Bailey Zappi in it at the end of the season because you're just trying to do anything you can to save this year. It'd be bad, man. It'd be bad. I don't think that's the way to go. I think it's wild that the Steelers, Art Rooney spoke to us, sat there and to our faces said, priority 1 is the coaching staff. Priority 2 is the quarterback. There have been no changes on either. What is happening? Like, what is going on right now with the Pittsburgh Steelers? How are you this stalemate a month into the offseason? Like, how is nobody? That's neglect. If we're going to be like, I don't care about the Senior Bowl. I get it. It was a great time. You have people working different routes. What are you doing? How are you not doing this correctly? I don't know whose fault it is, but somebody has to be at blame for what is going on right now. This is nuts. This is not, if this was a week ago, it's okay. Where we are right now, like, what are we doing? How is this? How did we get this far without a single change or a single direction being made for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that they're just heading into the offseason like, we'll figure it out. Okay, we'll see what happens. Any final thoughts on the quarterback situation from Glazer there before we go on to good old Micah?
No, I just love that whenever you sent that to me and you said, yeah, Schefter's saying Russ to Pittsburgh, Glazer saying not. I'm like, well, this just proves that I was right a couple weeks ago when the Schefter report came out and I said, it feels like it's coming from one side and that side isn't residing on South Side right now.
Yeah, no, that guy is wherever they live in the offseason, that is where that's where that side. The expressed interest was, again, a sit-down meeting at the end, an exit interview saying, yeah, Russ, we'll see what happens. We appreciate you. We love you, blah, blah, blah. We'll see where it goes. Russ walked out of there going, I think I got a shot. think I'm coming back to Pittsburgh. I'm coming back to Pittsburgh.